The Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa has temporarily shut its offices. SERI has accused the City of Johannesburg's Councillor Nkululeko Mbundu, who is the MMC for Economic Development, for inciting this violence against its staff. This is after about 400 informal traders were allowed by a court to return to the Villiers precinct in the Johannesburg CBD. Earlier we spoke to Newzroom Afrika of SERI. Let's speak now to Nkululeko Mbundu, the Johannesburg councillor. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. The allegation here is that your tweets have subsequently led to some of the members of SERI being victimized on Twitter, with people even making reference to the Krugersdorp gang rape that recently took place. Your response to this?
Hi, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners. I think the first thing I need to state is that we condemn any acts or insinuation of violence. We do not promote it, we do not support it. But also as such, we distance ourselves from the allegation of inciting violence. And putting it into context, in this case, I simply retweeted what the SERI had tweeted themselves with their details and in highlighting the work that they had done in the city. So at no point have we went out of our way to incite violence or suggest anybody to go after SERI for that matter. And my tweets are available, they're not been deleted, they're there for everyone to see. So with that said, we do condemn the acts of violence.
In retweeting some of their tweets, here's one tweet that you actually have your own opinion attached to, that you retweeted, and you say, "It's obvious we've uncovered the real truth here for everyone to see, including those masquerading as Ubuntu sympathizers who are quick to take us to court in reference to SERI for enforcing our bylaws. Traders were afforded the opportunity to verify and return to work from day one, yet a majority opted not to do so. If this is not incitement, what is? We do know the cesspool that social media sometimes is, and so this kind of statement is reckless."
Look, there's a broader community around this thing, and not just the NGOs or SERI in itself. What we've established is that there is a network with vested interest in continuing to trade. And I guess in context, my tweet says that we should not, the city should not be held to ransom in its quest for ensuring that we implement our informal trade policy effectively. We've got a massive problem of unemployment in the city, and our role is to make sure that we regulate the informal trade sector such that our people can benefit from it. So, the way I look at it, it's got no connotations to SERI directly or indirectly, so to speak. But it really speaks to the experiences that we do have on the ground when we encounter resistance in terms of us getting our function to implement our informal trade policy.
We spoke to Newzroom Afrika, the executive director of SERI, and she pointed out that their offices are still closed as a result of some of your utterances. And so with this recent development, would you be willing to then apologize? You say you condemn the acts of intimidation and you distance yourselves from it, but would you then offer a formal apology and actually tweet it on the same platform where this all began?
I do not find my tweets to have incited violence, and I think if that's the case, I think SERI is more than welcome to take this to law enforcement officers. I mean, there's no point in me apologizing for something that I did not cause. And not that I run away from responsibility, but I think we need to be fair in this context that the origination of those tweets did not come from my page, for starters. It's a retweet. So when you look at it in context, it really is not something that should be attached to us in totality. So quite honestly, I don't see what it is that I need to apologize for. I think at best, as where I'm at right now, is to state my position that as a city, we are a caring city, and we do not condone any form of violence against anybody.
SERI has also noted that they've worked with the City of Johannesburg for many, many years, and so they find it quite curious that this is happening, especially with the entrance of your particular political party into this space. And so will you maybe be engaging with SERI then to find a way forward?
Our door has always been wide open to do. As a matter of fact, we've always opened up for engagement. I think what's peculiar here is that SERI went to the courts, went to the media, and went to the mayor's office. At no point was my office engaged. At no point was I requested for a sit-down to try and understand what their issues were. So it's very difficult for us from where we stand, where we've got a party on the other side that has got a grievance and goes around and speaks to all other parties and avoids the main party that is supposed to be a respondent in this instance. With that said, we've got an open door policy in our office. We are more than welcome to engage, but I think we need to engage with parties in good faith. Whoever has to engage with us, they've got to engage with us in good faith. We've got a massive problem we need to solve in the City of Johannesburg, and it requires a multi-stakeholder engagement. It doesn't help when we get threatened with legal action and then we get dragged into media and we don't get the right of reply in that instance. For me, that is not acting in good faith. But if acting in good faith, we are always willing to engage. My door is always open.
SERI had a media briefing yesterday and they had invited yourself. The mayor actually even came, but then you didn't come. So if your door is open, or maybe let me ask this, you didn't get an invite from SERI, because they say that before that press briefing yesterday, they actually did invite you.
I was actually summoned to the press briefing at 10 o'clock on Saturday evening to say I need to appear at the press briefing. Now, what you need to bear in mind is that we are just given a time and date to drop everything that we've got to do. And while at it, they had the time to actually set a meeting with the mayor and sit down with the mayor instead of setting a meeting with us. So here we've got a situation where we are simply just someone to come to a press briefing. And I would imagine that if we're acting in good faith, the parties would call us into a meeting first. We have a discussion, we have an engagement, we have an agreement prior to getting into a press briefing. There's no point in getting into a press briefing if we are not going to be in agreement with what we are going to be talking about.
MMC for Economic Development in the City of Johannesburg, Nkululeko Mbundu, thank you very much for your time.